Hey guys, this is Reese and welcome to Not Just Coffee with Reese. I don't know about you, I may be a little biased, but I think I'm probably getting better at that. Probably not. But anyways, welcome to my third episode. I can't believe it, I'm already on 3. Well, I guess I kind of can't believe it, but anyways, with further delay, let's start out with what I am drinking. I'm not drinking coffee this time. So, I will tell you what I am. I am obsessed right now with watermelon. So, the store I go to does like fresh watermelon juice because I am too lazy to have a juicer and to juice the watermelon myself. Even though, okay, I'll be honest, that's not the truth. I get a little OCD about things, and the fact of having a whole watermelon in my house and cutting it up, oh, it just gets me like nervous and gives me anxiety because I'm thinking of all the stickiness that comes with it and the mess and having to, oh no, that's actually why I don't have a juicer too, and why I go to like Farm to Juice or Revolution Juice Bar, because I don't want to deal with the mess. But that was a side note. So I have fresh watermelon juice in here with some sparkling lime water. So that's what I'm drinking today. And I'm drinking it in my little Johnny Depp mug, which says, "Isn't happy hour any hour?" So obviously you can tell what team I was on. I was Team Johnny during the trial. It's so crazy because when the trial ended, I kind of didn't know what to do for a while. Like I was a little, I don't know, like when your favorite show on like Netflix or Amazon, like you binge watch it and you've like caught up on all the seasons, and then all of a sudden you're done and there's nothing else to watch. You go through like that mini seasonal depression and you're like, what do I watch? And you just aimlessly like click through, big, I'll look at this preview, I'll look at this, or it'll recommend something and you'll click and be like, okay. I felt like that kind of happened with the Johnny Depp trial and Amber Heard, or should we say, the woman that shall not be named. But anyways, so I like went through that whole phase, and I joked around with like my coworkers, and I joked around with like my sister and stuff. I was like, man, it is like having a full-time job, like 2 full-time jobs, you have to be working and then you have to be keeping up with the trial, and it was a lot. So I'm glad it's over. I miss it, but I'm glad it's over, and I will take a sip to commemorate Team Johnny. Good stuff. If you haven't tried fresh watermelon juice, you should totally try it. It, hands down, so good. So that is what I'm having on this episode of It's Not Just Coffee with Reese. Anyways, so wanted to get into a little topic about timelines. I've noticed that coming up a lot with me lately, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but in life, everyone puts kind of like a timeline on you as far as what you're gonna do, what expectations are, if you're at a certain age, what I guess society says that you should be doing at that time in your life. Because if you think about it, when you're in your teens, they're like, oh, they're just a teenager, like it's the rebellious phase, right? And then you go into your 20s and they're like, if you get drunk or do anything stupid like that, right? When it involves like partying or drinking, it's always like, oh, well, they're in their 20s. And then from there, it goes to like, well, I don't actually, actually, once you get out of your 20s, I think people stop giving you excuses with your age. I think after that, it's like, well, they're in their 30s. They never got their life together. Or it's like, oh, they're in their 40s. There's no hope for them now. They're just a lost cause. And you're like, what the heck? Like, we're probably living till like we're 80, maybe even older, depending on like how you eat. Like, some of y'all who like McDonald's, I don't think you're going to be seeing yourself live that long, but you know, like, why are people counting you out already when you're like in your 40s or something? And they're like, oh, they're lost cause. Like, so and so are never gonna get married, or I don't know. Anyways, I just found that like funny when it comes to timelines. They have all these little timelines, and then all of a sudden it stops probably at like 40, I'm guessing. I don't know. And then it's like, that's just Ed there. You know, he's on his fourth marriage and he's 60. I don't know. But so I just wanted to talk a little bit about timelines and like the pressure that I guess people feel being on timelines. I'm in the point in my life where my friends are getting married, having babies, or getting divorced for their first time. I do not get to partake in any of that. I am happily single. I do have some kids though. I have 2 cats and 1 dog, and that is enough for me. That's another thing, you know, when it comes to kids and timelines. I will say this. If I'm out with people and they start talking about their kids, that is completely great with me. I am happy about hearing about kids. But trust me, I will break out my phone and I will show you my kids, my fur babies. I'm very proud of them. And I'm pretty sure that about 95% of the people at that table would rather look at my fur babies than actual kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm biased. Maybe I'm that mom, you know, who thinks that like hers are the cutest, but I will look at pictures and videos of dogs and cats all day long. I'm not someone who's on Instagram and TikTok looking at funny things kids do. I'm like, yeah, that's a good one. And then I'm going to go back to my cats or my dogs and watch that. Or what I really like is watching the like drunk people doing things videos. Those are really good. Also, influencers in the wild. You get some pretty good stuff from that too. I will say it's entertaining for me. But completely sidetracked. We're talking, I know, about like timelines and stuff. And so I wanted to look this up because I know lots of people, I guess in like my early 20s is when my friends first started getting married, right? I don't know when y'all's friends started getting married, but I think my early 20s was when I had my first invite to be a bridesmaid. And I didn't realize until then that what they say in like movies and stuff with having bridesmaids look hideous is so true. Like, why? You see the groomsmen, they're in tuxes. They don't get put in pink or purple or like Dumb and Dumber tuxes or stuff like that. It's typically just your black and white classic tux. I don't see why we can't have nice, simple dresses for girls, for bridesmaids. One of my bridesmaids, gosh, I just looked like, I don't know, a Tootsie Roll rolled up in like a blue tube. It was bad. And then another one, I looked like a Pepto Bismol bottle with a green ribbon on me. both of them were like tube, like the strapless tube dresses too. So that just made it even worse, you know? It doesn't matter what size you aren't looking good in that stuff. But yeah. So anyways, it just kind of got me thinking. Like, people are always like, as soon as you're in your 20s, you can't just be dating someone. You know, it's like, oh, how long have you all been dating? Are you going to get married? And then, you know, once you get married, the questions don't stop though. Then it goes to, oh, when are you going to have kids? You know? And then I feel like, well, after you have kids, I don't know what else people start asking you. When are you going to get your divorce? Are you still happy? I don't know. But so I was looking it up, like, why is everyone in a rush? First of all, I found out that the year of marriage has gone down. So we used to get married like in our early 20s, right? And then probably before COVID and stuff, I think people were getting married when they were like around 26 was the average in the United States. Now apparently it's like gone to like 28 for the average for like women, and then I think for men it's at like age of 30 or so, 29 or 30. I found that interesting. But out of that, not to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but everyone who gets married, 50% of everyone getting married for their first marriage is going to end in a divorce. And then I thought personally that if you have like your second marriage, you would learn, right? Like, you learn from your mistakes and you're like, oh, okay, this one's going to be better. Kind of like practice. You know, when you practice something, you get better at it. Apparently, I looked it up. You don't get better at marriage. Your like chances of staying married after your first marriage get worse. So when you move on to your second marriage, ladies and gentlemen, it actually goes down, and you have a 60% chance of your marriage ending in divorce. 60. So it goes from like 40, like anywhere between like 50%, like 41 to 50% for your first marriage. And then it goes up to 60% if you get married the second time. Now, if you get married the third time, and of course everyone's like, third time's a charm. Obviously not in marriage. Because marriage, the third time that you get married, 73% of those marriages end in divorce. I find that completely crazy. So I think next time when I'm out and about, or a family member comes up to me, or a friend, and they're like, when are you going to get married? I'm just going to give them those stats and be like, well, apparently 41 to 50% of all first marriages end in divorce. So when are you going to get a divorce? I wonder what they'd say. I know that sounds like I'm bitter, but I'm not bitter at all. It's just like, I'm just thinking about timelines, and I find it interesting how people rush into getting married in like their 20s and 30s when you still have like more than half of your life left. I'm pretty sure I like read somewhere, like, you change about like every 5 years. We change as humans, you know, as far as like our interests and our likes, or, you know, different things like that. And then we have like major changes like every 10 years. So that's kind of like the cycle, like small changes and then major changes. And it's like, man, you have to find someone that goes through those changes with you, either that or that accepts those changes as well. I'm like, well, I don't know. Then you start realizing like the divorce rate, and you're like, man. So my theory is I may wait till I'm like 60 to get married, because then I only have like maybe 20 years left, and I can probably like stay married the rest of my life. I don't know. I see some people who just seem miserable. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Then they ask when I'm getting married. Well, sweetheart, by the way you look, not anytime soon. I am happy going back to my cats and my dog. Which is so funny because that reminds me, today, kind of off subject again, I went to the grocery store. First of all, that stuff is getting expensive. I got no alcohol, just essentials like foods. No major like steaks or wines or, cleaning products. 'Cause cleaning products get expensive. None of that. And it came out to be like $90. And that's just for me. And I was like, man, that is crazy. But I was there at the grocery store, and all of a sudden I hear someone behind me, and they're like yelling, like, ah, ah. And I was like, what in the world? And this is as I'm like going out to the parking lot, right, to my car. And sure enough, it like kept following me. I'm like, oh man, what's going on? Who is this? I kind of look back, and it's this lady, and she gets her grocery cart and she pushes it and lets it go, and it slams into her car. And I was like, what in the world? And then she's like throwing the F-bomb and this and that. And I was like, okay, you know what, Larissa? Just pack up your groceries in your car and keep going. But I'm one of those people who I stare. I was trying to make it not obvious. You know when you try and make things not obvious, but they're obvious? That kind of thing. And I'm really bad at that. And there she was, and she's saying the F word. She's opened up the trunk of her car, putting her groceries in. She's slamming it. And she's so mad. And I was like, I so wanted to go over there and ask her if everything was okay and like what was going on. Because the curiosity was just like killing me. I didn't though. I'm still thinking about it right now as I'm telling you guys about this. But then I realized she did something so strange. Even though she was so miserable, she got her cart, which she had slammed into her car, and she went and put it away. And I was like, well, look at that. I heard that good humans, decent people, put their carts away. So I put my cart away now because I want to be a decent, good human. So I always look for the nearest cart return area, and I'll put my cart away. Oh, another thing I did, which hopefully will give me points for going to heaven. Sometimes I get lazy at the produce section, and they had 2 different sizes of avocados. You have your smaller avocados, you have your larger avocados, and I got 2 small and 2 large because I was like, oh, well, there are days where it's just me, and I'm not gonna want the huge larger avocados. And I'm a little strange. Once they kind of start getting all brown and shriveling up, I'm like, ugh, I don't want to eat that. So I got 2 small and 2 large. I put them all in the bag together because I had only gotten 1 bag, and I didn't want to go back and get another bag. And then the lady was ringing me up, and I completely forgot. She was ringing everything up, and I looked at her and go, oh, did you already ring up the avocados? And she's like, yes, I did. Why? And I was like, okay, well, I had 2 large avocados in there and then 2 small. And she's like, oh, thank you. And I felt like I kind of just wanted to put, hello, attention, everyone, attention. I could have gotten charged for 4 small avocados, but instead I told the lady that I got 2 large avocados. That brought my bill up to $2 extra. No one would have known. I feel like I should keep tallies of some of that stuff, so that way when I get to heaven, yes, when I get to heaven, I can be like, God, On August the 1st, around 6:30 p.m., I was in HEB and I told the cashier that I had 2 large avocados when she thought I had a total of 4 small ones. Does anyone else do those things? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I kind of wanted to pat myself on the back like, yeah, Larissa, you got this. This is a good day. Good day. I don't know. I guess these are just weird things that always like go through my mind. I hope these all go through y'all's mind too, as far as things that you do. I don't know. Last week I got really stressed. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna start this off with saying this is gonna be a shocker to lots of people, probably. Actually, maybe not. Y'all really don't know me, but I'm not a good driver. Okay, no, correction. I am a good driver. I'm a good driver because I don't get into accidents. I just don't pay attention very well. So I have ADHD. I know lots of people probably have that right now. It's kind of going around with anxiety. Those are some of the cool Tic Tacs to, have off. Hi, I'm Larissa. I have anxiety and ADHD. Just kidding. I probably just have ADHD. Oh my gosh, look, there's a squirrel. Oh my gosh. Hi, I'm Larissa. Did I tell you that? Yeah, so anyways, I was going to one of my favorite coffee shops, and I needed to get gas. Now, something that may drive a lot of people crazy is when I need to get gas, I need to get gas. I'm not one of those people who waits till the tank is half full and then let me go get some gas. I'm not a person that waits until it's 1/4 full even and let me get some gas. This is me. So I'm the kind of person. That watermelon's so good. Okay, sorry. I'm the type of person that her gas light goes on and she will say to herself, okay, I can drive either a few more miles. So, for instance, my gas light goes on in the morning. Common sense thing to do would to stop at a gas station on the way to work and get gas, right? That is not what I do. In my mind, I calculated and go, I don't need to get gas. I have plenty of gas, even though my gas light is on, to drive to work, but just can't get into any, fender benders, can't be staying idle for a long time. I can get to work. And then around lunchtime or so, when I go run an errand, I can stop and get gas on the way. I don't know why my mind thinks that way. Maybe I just like some excitement in my life, living on the edge. Am I gonna run out of gas? Am I not? I haven't run out yet. I can calculate it pretty well. So this morning I did that. Well, not this morning, but one of these mornings, right? Oh, gas light on, ding, ding, ding. It's okay. I'm gonna drive to work anyways with it and not stop for gas. Drive all the way to work. And then later, oh look, it's around lunchtime. Let me go get some gas. I'll stop, get some coffee from my favorite coffee place, get gas, it'll be great. So I do that. I stop and get gas. And then as I'm leaving and getting gas, I'm like driving out. Sorry, that was my dog, Mr. Gibbs. He scared me there. I was like, oh my gosh. He woke up from a dream, scared himself. When I was going out to leave the gas station, I got distracted. I'm not proud of this. I got distracted. I was making my turn and I go, oh, look, what's that? What's that? And all of a sudden, boom, boom. My car went up on the curb, hit back down, because, you know, I corrected myself. Boom, boom, hit back down. Busted tire. Like I heard it as soon as like I landed back on the street. Busted tire. And so I drove into the parking lot. I was like, oh man. Oh. And then I look. It's not just a flat. It's like a busted open tire. The rim is all cracked. And I was like, crap. So I called AAA. I have been a member of AAA since 1982, and I find it hilarious because it's my dad's AAA. Everyone's like, thank you for being a member for 40 years? I'm like, yeah, I've been driving for 40 years. Yeah. But so the guy came out, he fixed my tire, and then I was off. Yay, I'm off to go finish my day. Not quite. As I'm driving off, I look at my windshield. I freaking cracked my windshield too. I mean, I feel like that takes talent. Bust your tire open. So not like just a flat, like it was like busted open. Bent the rim, so I have a new rim on my car, and a cracked windshield. Crazy. So I go to Discount Tires, of course. You know, I needed to get some new tires eventually, so I just got my 4 new tires, got my new windshield. Oh, and my battery needed to be changed, so oh, new car there. But thinking about it all, I was really thankful because one, it was a curb that I hit, not a person. Yay! No one can sue me. And then also, I had AAA. Didn't have to change the tire myself. The guy was great, always so sweet. Discount Tires, they had my tires in stock. That was great. They actually only had 5 tires left, and I took 4. So the next sucker that comes in and needs more than 1 tire, I already took them. So, I mean, that was good. Windshield, got my windshield fixed. They fixed it great. I actually have to take it back because I don't think they sealed it quite properly. But, so I think like looking on life, all that stuff was really sucky that happened, of course, because it was my fault. But you know, you gotta look at things like with the a different perspective. Like, yeah, all those things happened to you, but you were able to get them fixed. You know, like life is still great. I still went home. I still had a good dinner. I had friends and family and my dog and my cats that loved me. Like, life's not that bad. It's amazing. So, like, bring it all back to like timelines and stuff. I really feel like if people are pressured to go through a timeline of, you know, this is when I need to go to college, this is when I need to get married, this is when I need to have kids, I kind of say screw it all. Like, the only timeline you need is the timeline in your head. The only timeline you need is what makes you happy. Of course, like reasonable happy. Like, don't go out and smoke some crack and be like, hey, that made me happy. But like, just because people are getting married, just because people are going to college, just because people are having kids, doesn't mean that that's the right path or the right timeline for you. You know, yeah, I was just really thinking about that, and I've been thinking about it for a few weeks, and I've had really lucky parents to where I grew up and I was raised with like, just dance to the beat of your own drum, or whatever that saying is. So I've grown up that way, which is great. Now that I'm older, I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, I don't really timelines don't faze me at all. When I was younger, it sucked because my parents literally let me dance to my own beat. So I was like made fun of. I was like so dorky. It's not like I've grown out of that part. I'm still like dorky and stuff, but when I was younger, like just being so made fun of, I think it either brings you either way. It brings you to, you're going to fall into what people want you to do and fall into like the timelines that society gives us all, or you're just like, screw it, I'm just gonna like do my timeline. And especially right now in 2022, even though we live to be like 80, like that's not a long time, you know, it's a short amount of time, and you just gotta live your life, create your own timeline, and just chase the joy. Yeah, just like be a good person and chase the joy. And if people want to say that you need a timeline, just look at their life. And I'm pretty sure they're like that lady in the HEB parking lot, like hating themselves, cursing out loud to like the air, and getting that grocery cart and like smashing it up against her car. You know, it's like, don't listen to those people. They're miserable on their own, and they just want you to come into the same timeline they're in because they're miserable. So what I say is, cheers to not having a timeline, and cheers to being happy and living a life that makes you happy, and be good to the world and put goodness out into the world. And I just realized right now as I'm saying this and saying like, hey guys, bye, I have my Johnny Depp cup, and I'm wearing my Hunter S. Thompson. I call this my Hunter S. Thompson shirt. And Johnny Depp played Hunter S. Thompson, so it's perfect. And I'm going to Vegas soon, which is really cool. So I'm gonna go check out the hotel that in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. That'll be awesome. So I'll have to wear this shirt. Of course, I have another Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, like Hunter S. Thompson shirt, which I'll wear too. That'll be really cool. I can't wait to do a podcast from Vegas and tell you guys about that. But anyways, till next time, cheers, screw timelines, and live your life the way you want to live your life. Bye guys.